Hello, friends. Welcome to another session on Code with Math. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. And if you love what you are watching on this channel, please help me to reach out to more people by clicking the like button and sharing this video with your friends. Thank you. So we have started this series on learning to program in C. And today we are going to continue by discussing loops in C. You see, loops is a very important concept when it comes to programming. So many times you are going to want to do things over and over again. And in programming, you are supposed to be lazy. So you don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. One of the ways you can try to stop that and not hard code is by introducing the concept of loops. So what is loops? So a loop is a statement that in which that allows you to execute a particular statement or a statement block over a number of times in your program. So it consists of a test condition or a conditional statement and then a statement or a statement block that will be executed. So what the loop does is it's going to check the condition and then run your statement. That's the statement block. And then it's going to come back, it's going to check the condition again. So long as the condition remains true, your code block will continue to run. And if your condition is never true, then the code will not run. So for you to have a proper running loop, you will need an iterator. An iterator is a variable that is expected to change in the course while running the loop. That's when the statement block is executed. So the iterator should change value. And then in your condition, you are checking the present value of the iterator. So that is how a loop actually works most of the time. So you can also have multiple loops nested together to have a desired output. Let's see the different types of loops. So there is the while loops, the for loops, and the do while loop. So a while loop checks for the condition before running the code block. So usually the iterator would be a part of your code block. So this is the syntax, right? So you have a while, and then in brackets you state your condition, then afterwards your code block. All right, let's check this out in our VS Code. So in here, I've already written our boilerplate code. So what we are going to do is we're going to have an integer, int a. I'm going to say int a equals to 0. So the goal of this program, just for us, we're going to print 0 to 9 without having to hard code. So we're going to say while a, can say while a is less than 10. So 9 is less than 10. So that's where that's going to stop. Or you can say while a less than or equal to 9. So this is still going to be the same thing. So that's our while. We've written our conditional statement. And then I'm going to say just printf. Send D, a new line, A. So we're going to increment it. So we're going to say A++. So by the time let's compile this GCC. So our output will be A. So let's run A. So you see this prints. So it's printing from 0 to 9. So that's our desired output. So we can edit this in different ways. I can put this incremental, can just say A++. So while A++ less than 9. So if you understand what this does from my previous videos is, it's going to use the value of A right here, compare it to 9, and then Okay, this is actually not going to. I'm sorry. I should do this here, because if I had done that a plus plus, then when this is testing 0, here will be 1. So I can just, since this is the last time we're going to use a here, I could just say a plus plus here. So it's going to give us the value of a and then increment it. So you see, we still have our desired output. Okay, so that's it for while loops. Let's continue our slides. All right, so we check for the next is for loop. So this for loop is similar to the while loop, except that the iterator, the test condition, and the increment or decrement statements are going to be in the they're going to be in the bracket, right? If you look at the syntax, everything is in this bracket, and then you have the body. Although you could also write it in different ways, which I'm going to show you. All right, let's head over back to VS Code. So right here, let's comment this out. Oh, sorry. Okay. So let's say I have, this time I want to print from 9 backwards with a for loop. So let's say 4. So this time around, this is 0, right? So I can say a equals to 9. And then I'm going to say while a. So I'm going to say, okay, sorry, let me take this back. So I'm going to, let me just have a declared and not initialized. So right here, I'm going to initialize a to 9. And then I'm going to end this first statement. And I'm going to say a greater than or equal to 0. And then I'm going to say a plus plus. So now I'm going to have our body, and our body is just going to print f. So let me just copy this statement here. So I don't need to increment this. If not, we'll be incrementing twice. So because this is just a single statement, actually I would not need to wrap it in curly brackets. So I'm just going to have this, and then this is going to compile successfully as B. And then by the time I run B, oops, there is an error. Control C. So we keep on printing jargon's values. We keep printing jargon's values. And the reason why we keep printing jargon's values is because we are incrementing instead of decrementing. So minus minus. Sorry. So what had happened is that we have gone beyond 0, and then we've gone into the negative side, and then we keep printing our numbers. We've gone beyond the limit of integers. All right, so if I recompile this, so you see now I have 9876543210. So that's it. So of course I can totally remove this int here, though I will not recommend this, but it's possible. And then I will just declare the variable right here, and then this is going to work. So it still works. Or I could have a equals to 9 right here, and have this removed. But if I'm not putting anything here, I must have a semicolon. And then I could also have this removed from here, and just have it here. So this is still going to work correctly. So just note that if you're not putting anything, then it's better not to you don't touch it. If you're not putting anything, it's better you put you still include you are still going to include your semicolons to show that there are three different statements, right? So another thing that is worth noting is you could have, for example, you are checking the multiple variables. You could actually initialize multiple variables in before your first semicolon. So you need to note that. All right, so let's continue. The last one is the do while loop. So very similar syntax to the while loop, except that you have a do, then your code block, and then the condition, that's the while. So what this does is it executes the code block, then checks for the condition. If the condition is true, it will execute and then check, unlike the while loop that checks the condition before execution. Let's head back to VS Code and see this. So a common application of the do while loop is what I'm just going to show you here. Let's comment this out. So we can have let me also comment this out. So maybe you want to get a yes or no as y or n from a user. And then you don't want the user to be able to input any other thing apart from yes or no. So it has to be either y or n, right? So let's say we have char response. So let's just use res, right? Equals to. So let me leave this. So we're going to printf for our prompt, and then we're going to print what do you say. So you either small letter y, let's just use small letters, or so let me put this just for the sake of correctness, or n. Okay, so that's our prompt right there. So I'm going to use scanf, and then I'm going to, so what I want to do is I want to take the response, right? So I'm going to have to say do. So let me put this here. So I'm going to put the do here. I'm going to create a loop here. Do. So it's going to continue to run the statement block. So do scanf %c. I'm going to pass the address of res. So it's going to get a response, and then it's going to now check that response. So excuse me, while so our test, so we're going to do that while, so while res not equal to y, or res, oh sorry, and res not equal to n. So we're going to keep continue in this loop. So I need to terminate this with a semicolon. So this loop is going to continue to run while rest. So we need to test, let's test this. So C, and then we're going to run it. So what do you say? If I say Y, enter, so it ends. Let's rerun. If I say N, it ends. Let's rerun. If I say J, L, F, T, I, K. So you see, it keeps on asking me for something to input something. But when I say N, then it terminates. So that is a very good application of the do while loop. All right. So we're going to end this here. In the next session, we are going to continue, and then we're going to look at nested loops, and we're going to see a very good application of loops in C. Thank you very much. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. And if you love and enjoy these learning sessions, please hit the like button and share with your friends so that I can reach out to more people. Thank you very much. See you next time on Code with Matt. Bye.